Welcome to my channel Good Mind Gyan. Today we are going to study the topic water from ICSE class 9 chapter 3. Let us study about water of crystallization. What is water of crystallization? The fixed number of water molecules that are in loose combination with one molecule of a salt is called water of crystallization. The salt which contains water molecules is called a hydrated salt. These are certain examples of salts containing water of crystallization. For example, copper sulfate is CuSO4 5H2O, which is blue in color. You have iron sulfate, which is FeSO4 7H2O, which is green in color. Sodium carbonate Na2CO3 10H2O, which is white in color. Magnesium sulfate MgSO4 7H2O, which is white in color again, and zinc sulfates ZnSO4 7H2O, which is white in color. So these are certain examples of salts containing water of crystallization. Now let us see one experiment which shows the presence of water in hydrated copper sulfate. For this, here you can see in the first picture they have taken a boiling tube in which they have added copper sulfate crystals, and the boiling tube is holded with a test tube holder and it is heated on a burner. So when you heat the test tube on a burner, you will see certain changes which take place. We can also arrange this in a separate way, like we can fill 1/3 of the hard glass test tube with copper sulfate crystals, clamp the test tube in an iron stand, and in the mouth of the test tube fit a delivery tube whose other end goes into another test tube placed in cold water. As you can see here, we have placed the other test tube in a cold water. So when you heat the crystals of copper sulfate strongly, you will notice that the crystals give out steamy fumes. Now, these fumes move to the test tube which are placed in water and they condense to form colorless liquid. Now, the crystals crumble to form a powdery mass. So what you observe here is the crystals lose their blue color and change to white powder. As you already know that copper sulfate crystals are blue in color. So now the crystals on heating will lose their blue color and they will change to white powder. And that's the reason on heating you will get anhydrous copper sulfate. Now, if you allow the apparatus to cool and then you remove the test tube containing anhydrous copper sulfate and you add a few drops of water to the anhydrous copper sulfate, what will you observe? You will observe that the copper sulfate will regain its original color, which was blue. Okay, so in this activity we have proved that hydrated copper sulfate will contain water. So what is the reaction here? Copper sulfate, that is CuSO4 5H2O, which were blue crystals, on heating you got copper sulfate powder which is there, and you have 5 water molecules which are separated. So the conclusion is that hydrated copper sulfate contains water. Now let us see what are hydrated substances. The hydrated substances are the substances which contain certain fixed number of water molecules attached to them. Okay, such substances are called as hydrated substances, and the water molecules attached to them are called the water of crystallization. That's the reason when we saw the examples, copper sulfate has CuSO4 5H2O. So 5H2O is the molecule which is attached to it. Then FeSO4 7H2O, you have 7 water molecules. Na2CO3 10H2O, you have 10 water molecules. MgSO4 7H2O, 7 water molecules. ZnSO4 7H2O, you have 7 water molecules. So that was hydrated substances. Next is anhydrous substance. You already saw that we heated copper sulfate, which was blue in color, and on heating you got anhydrous copper sulfate. So what is anhydrous substance? The residue which is left when the anhydrous substance loses its water of crystallization is called anhydrous substance, and they gain their color on the addition of water. So that's the reason when we took the salt, that is copper sulfate, and we heated it, on heating the water of crystallization was lost. We lost the substance lost the water of crystallization, and you got anhydrous copper sulfate. And when we added a few drops to that anhydrous substance, we got the original color, that is the blue color. Next, let us see what are deliquescent substances. Some substances have a tendency to absorb moisture from air and change into a solution, and such substances are called as deliquescent substances. Such salts change into solution form due to the absorption of water from the air. Okay, and such property of salts is called as deliquescence. So there are certain examples like calcium chloride, you have magnesium chloride, mercury nitrate, and zinc chloride. These are certain examples where you will find that they will absorb the moisture from air and they will change it into a solution, and those substances will be called as deliquescent substances. Next, what are hygroscopic substances? Hygroscopic substances are quicklime, that is calcium oxide. You have concentrated sulfuric acid. You also have phosphorus pentoxide. Okay, so these are the substances which absorb the moisture from air but do not change their state, are called as hygroscopic substances, and such property of substances is called as hygroscopy. A substance in the form of crystals loses its water of crystallization, forming a powdery deposit on the crystals. On exposure to the atmosphere is called efflorescent substance. This property of such substance is called as efflorescence. So the substances which show efflorescence are blue vitriol, which is copper sulfate. Then you have gypsum, which is Na2CO3. Sorry, gypsum, which is calcium sulfate 2H2O. And you have sodium carbonate, which is Na2CO3 10H2O. So these are the substances which show the property of efflorescence, that is they lose its water of crystallization and form a powdery deposit on the crystals on exposure to atmosphere. Now, what have we learnt today? We have learnt what is water of crystallization. We saw certain examples of hydrated salts. We also saw how hydrated copper sulfate contains water through an experiment. We also understood what is hydrated and anhydrous substances. We studied about deliquescent substances, hygroscopic substances, and efflorescent substances with their examples. I hope you liked my video. If you have liked it, please share and give your comments to this video. If you are a new visitor, then don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you.